There were ghosts at the gates not days ago. Those things I said before.
So many were injured.
Oh, Clive. What am I to do? My wards and I may soon be without a home.
What's happened?
The High Cardinal has descended from his lofty throne.
The High Cardinal?
Leader of the Council of Elders. Not that any of those things still exist.
And what does he want with Northreach?
He wants to transform it into a military stronghold, a foundation upon which to build a new Sambrek. He's already secured the support of the various army remnant.
He would rob the populace to pay for it.
Believe me, I have used every means of persuasion.
What does Captain Philippe make of this? When the town was under attack, it was him.
How? By speaking out against one of the most powerful men in Sambrek. A man whose stated aim is to revive the Empire Philippe's comrades swore. The captain can offer them a regular supply of gruel and an occasional trip to the Vale to help them forget the terrors they face each day. No. Any attempt to incite mutiny would cost Philippe the support. Given the mood around town, mutiny may...
And who could blame them?
Clive, would you appeal to the Duke on my behalf for your services to Northreach? And unlike Philippe, no bonds of loyalty prevent you from... Well, will you try?
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, Clive.
Tell me then. Well, in the garrison?
Overseeing the troops, yes.
All right. Wish me luck. I may have met this Duke before, at the Remembrance Ceremony. Let's hope I didn't make a strong impression.
Halt! Oh, sorry about that. You got some business with the captain?
No, I was hoping I might be able to speak with him.
We're under orders not to let any civilians pass. But you should be all right. Wait here. I'll go and ask.
So, you are the sellsword who lent his aid to the garrison. The Empire owes you a debt, and I shall see it repaid. But tell me, is it wealth that you seek? Or...
Neither, Your Eminence.
Ah, I see. You are worried the expanded garrison will render your services redundant. Yet you needn't be. Pride of place, in fact. But no more. For it is they who shall see the Holy Empire rebuilt.
Why here, Your Eminence?
The town has been fortunate enough to escape largely which is more than can be said for Oriflamme or Twinside. The Empire wants for a capital, with Caer Norvent as her citadel. We need only build a wall around both to create a city that would be the envy of the twins. Plans are already underway for the construction. Soon enough.
I fear you underestimate how dangerous these creatures are, Your Eminence. Should they return in force?
The people will do as their leaders command. If Sambrek is to be rebuilt, one whose authority is beyond question. That is why this levy is necessary, so that any man who wishes to join the army might do so. And yet there are those who persist in peddling the treasonous lie that I seek to steal from the...
I suspect they're afraid of losing what little they have left.
Precise. The common folk have little and less. You would sow the seeds of your new empire in your own salted earth.
Sabine, we have discussed this.
Yes, and I told you then how putting the empire before her citizens would lead only to revolt.
Without an empire, there are no citizens.
And in yours, there will be only beggars. Is that what Griga wills for her people?
Do not take her name in vain, Sabine.
I'll come back later. A citizen's revolt. I wonder what the people really think of the Duke's plan. It wouldn't hurt to ask them, I suppose. Let's begin with those on the other side. Ooh.
But there were ghosts at the gates not days ago.
All right there.
Just your opinion, actually. I wondered what you thought of the Duke of Oriflamme.
Oh, him. Not much. None of us traders do. It's thanks to nobles like him that we had to set up shop. And now he's trying to drive us out completely. If the dame said she wanted him run out of town...
Welcome, welcome. I do like a customer who knows what he wants. You've a keen eye. I do like a customer who knows what he wants. I'll be here if you need me.
I've been hearing a lot of talk about a certain Duke.
Nothing good, I'll wager. Going around acting like he owns the place, and with hardly a word to the dame.
I take it you'd rather she was in charge.
As far as I'm concerned, she still is. Just need his eminence to sod off back to Orif.
Why? Your stories.
A question, if you don't mind. What do you think of the Duke of Oriflamme?
Don't get me. You build a life for yourself somewhere, Ernie. If he thinks his name and his chains give him the right to empty our purses, we'll do whatever it takes to keep what's ours. Whatever it takes.
Well, the people seem united enough. What about the soldiers?
I heard the dame got an icon to rid the man over.
Excuse me, do you have a moment? I wondered if you'd mind sharing your thoughts on the Duke of Oriflamme.
Well, he's made a lot of enemies coming. I mean, look around us. You can see that the traders might not like having the screws. I think the Duke's got a point when he says rebuilding the empires. And if that means people who don't know one end of it...
You're the one who was talking to His Eminence.
On the dame's behalf, yes. What do you think of his plans?
I'm a soldier, mate. Listen, I've got nothing but respect for the dame. That's where my loyalties lie. If the Duke can get us the men and the equipment we need to fight off...
As long as you remain, the veil will see you.
Sabine, you are embarrassing me.
I hear the Duke of Oriflamme plans to turn this town into... Do you think that's a good idea?
It's not for me to say. All I know is that unless the Emperor orders me otherwise... Look, no one likes all these taxes and tariffs, but once Sanbreque is back on her feet...
Let's see what Philippe makes of all this. Captain, do you have a moment?
For you? Certainly. Thank you for last time. How can I help you?
I wanted to ask you about the Duke of Oriflamme. Do you intend to go along with his plan?
But to tell you the truth, it's my sworn duty as a captain of the Imperial Army to obey his orders.
Philippe, I remember you saying that you became a soldier to protect the people you loved.
That's right.
Well, she doesn't agree with the Duke's orders either.
And she's probably right. Thank you, Clive. Protecting the people I love is what matters. Well, duty calls. Thanks again.
It seems Philippe wants to do the right thing at least. I expect Isabel will be pleased to hear that, if nothing else.
Ah, Clive. Were you able to speak with the Duke?
I was.
So Northreach is to be a fortress after all. Well, it will certainly help to hold back the thralls. There's no denying that. Though I doubt it will come as much consolation to the townspeople. They deserve to be heard, Clive.
Sadly, His Eminence values their obedience more than their... I fear he sees the people as mere pawns on his chessboard. To be needless to say, they themselves are of a different opinion. The soldiers, meanwhile, are content, and not just because of the Duke's rank.
I thought as much. Had I sworn to protect Sanbreque? Thank you for trying.
I don't know about that.
What happened to your uniform?
I handed it in. Told the lads I wished them well.
But why?
Because I realized what really matters to me. Not following some nobleman's orders for the sake of it. Protecting. I honestly don't know when those monsters will return, but I'm certain they're not finished with us yet. And when they do come back, we need to be ready for them. We need to stand together. And with you to lead us, milady. It was you who finally convinced me, Clive. There's no point following orders if they go against everything you believe.
Indeed.
All of us. Standing together. That has always been Northreach's best hope. We have only to turn our attentions to the true enemy. Thank you, Philippe, for
anything for you, milady. Speaking of standing together, I fear His Eminence has loftier tasks in mind for the Guard.
Not at all. Be my guest.
Wouldn't be the first time.
There may be hope for Northreach yet, especially with men like you and Philippe. I, for my part, shall continue to work upon the Duke, but I suspect I shall have to call upon your aid again. Until then, Clive.
Until then.
Those things I said before. There were ghosts at the gates not days ago. I heard the dame got an eye concert with him.
Good girl. Time to fight. Be safe. That's all of them. Oh, one.
Come back.
Oh, don't tell me we've run out of papio nuts.
Ah, the man himself.
We were just about to make a start on that sword I promised you.
It's funny, but none of this would have been possible without your help. You remember Camille? The steel, meanwhile, will be tempered in a fire, burning the cinders you charmed out of old Zoltan here. And that whetstone from the Outer Isles? And the final flourish will be my talented colleagues' engraving.
A team effort.
Now, save that talk till the thing's finished, yeah? Right. I'm ready if you are.
To the bellows it is, then.
Well, bugger me.
The sword to end all swords.
It's quite something.
I trust you'll take good care of it.
Thank you.
So, does this make you pair the greatest craftsmen?
This? Nah. It'll take more than that to earn us our place in, but we're up for the challenge.
A list of materials.
Zoltan and I got talking on the long road back.
We reckon with the...
That's a weapon I'd like to see.
I was hoping you'd say that.
One legend at a time, eh, lads?
Good idea. No more drinking to forget my past.
Then tap the kegs!
What do I owe the honor? A Sancthornian, dear. And?
Welcome to the Patron's Whisper. You earned this. All done?
With Canver in the hands of Akashic.
Ah, I see. So, is it good news or bad?
Good, thankfully.
Ah, that's brilliant! I'll fit him to the smelter right away. May I present to you the Telemon for...
She's a beauty.
You saved my beacon again, Sid! And I...
It's fine, really. My bag's, flexible enough already.
Oh, don't say that.
You could just buy me a bigger...
How about that clasp? Look, and I reckon I know how. It's a metal, see? So it's lovely and strong, but...
Stretchy metal.
That is the spirit.
So... It's... actually quite ingenious. Thank you, Owain.
Shh, don't mention it. You were... And I wanted to get some practice in using that metal anyway. Can't think of any right now, but maybe even out there, too. One day, the whole world's gonna know about the inventions you've helped us put to...
They'll hardly believe their eyes. I'm...
So, she don't need sails?
How are you feeling, Joshua?
Better than I was.
But not nearly as well as you should be. Your cuts and burns may have healed, but your body still bears the burden of every spell cast.
And what would you have had me do? It was no ordinary foe we faced. It was the Warden of Darkness. Yet still, it was not enough. The king could have ended me at any moment, but instead chose to toy with me like a curl does a mouse.
You underestimate yourself.
Oh, it was crystal clear. Only one man established his dominance that day, and that man was Barnabas. I'm sorry, brother. That was ill-spoken. It's just... I have never felt so powerless. And when so many are looking to us for strength, perhaps... perhaps the prince feels the same.
What is this place?
Don't move.
Here, it's fresh from the well. Grandmother told me spirits sometimes get lost, and that the lanterns guide them to their proper place. I set one on the river for her when she passed away.
The fiend works from the shadows. Was it you who guided my hand then, Ultima? No, not you. This is my doing, my fault, my sin to bear. And for it, I must atone.
Your hurts are healing nicely. It was my poultices that saw you well.
You make them?
And sell them, or try to. Earns me enough for bread, most days.
Forgive me. I have nothing to...
I know, but I couldn't just leave you lying there. You're going then?
Of course. I'm healed. Thanks to you and your poultices.
Will you promise to come back and visit?
Well, Phoenix, it would seem that I owe you my wings.
Perhaps he can find an answer. You will be returning to Waloed soon, I gather.
I see no reason to wait.
Then neither do I.
I can think of a few, but I doubt they'll stop you. You will take your medicine.
Of course, Lady Daya.
Set on leaving already, are you?
How long will it take us to get back to Ash?
Dunno, about the same amount of time it took us to get here. Maybe less, if your uncle can find someone trustworthy to patch up the Enterprise. All depends on where we're putting into port, mind.
Yes. It's not as if we can put ashore wherever we choose. We have to assume that the whole of Ash is hostile, and that we'll be attacked on sight.
Then we must find a place they won't think to look. And I have an idea who might know of one.
The Professor! I'll go and tell you coming.
While you're plotting our course, I'll be in the shelves with your lawsman. I wish to pick his brains about Ultima.
Then I'll talk to Karen about supplies for the journey. They may not be easy to come by in Ash. Your brother's body won't take much more of this recklessness. You know that, don't you?
I do.
I still say it were a compliment.
Ah, Clive. I was wondering when you'd arrive. Please tell me you've come to take our young prodigy here off my hands.
I'm not here for Mid. I need information on Ash.
Then why not ask Molly if you can look in one of her ovens? Go on.
As soon as the Enterprise is ready, we'll be setting out for Drake's Spine. And we're going to need a safe place to land.
Preferably one that won't see my ship blown to shit and splinters.
If it were that easy, do you think Waloed would have resisted invasion for so long? Very little is known of Ash, and the information we do have is spotty and outdated. We have the good King Barnabas to thank for that. Waloed's borders have been closed to outsiders since the day he seized the throne. If there is anywhere safe to land, you won't find it on my map.
Then tell us what we will find. I'm sure you know better than we do.
But no splinters.
All right, if it will get you out of my hair. But interrupt me, and it's over. Understood? Barnabas Tham, the one they call the Last King. Understand him, and you will understand the kingdom of Waloed. Barnabas was only a boy when he arrived from beyond the southern seas, and barely a man before he united the ragged tribes of Ash. And having unleashed them upon the formidable Veldamark, he set his throne upon the ancient kingdom's ruins. The victory sent shockwaves around Valisthea, tales of Odin's might spreading through every court, parlor, and drinking hole in the realm. Note that this was in the year 843, and that the king still sits upon his throne some 40 years later, quite untouched by time. Waloed's recent inaction left many wondering if Odin had lost his appetite for war. And yet here we are. The Einherjar was committed to the fray, a bold declaration of intent. Orcs swarm around Drake's Fang, and throngs of Akashic haunt Canva's streets. Though how precisely the havoc they wreak serves Waloed remains unclear. Regardless, if the order to attack truly came from King Barnabas, then one thing is certain. Waloed has achieved the impossible, and made bedfellows of beastmen and the ether-addled alike. All of which is a roundabout way of saying that you will be in unknown territory when you set foot on Ash. Much of the continent has already been lost to the Blight, and what few ports remain will be fiercely guarded. And that is to say naught of its natural defenses. Offshore currents will cast an ill-equipped ship out to sea one moment, and dash it against the rocks the next. But then the Enterprise is anything but ill-equipped, and Mid has made land there before. Now, if only there were someone with an intimate knowledge of the Shadow Coast, and where a daring gentleman might put ashore. You see, Clive, you had the answer all along.
Do you think you can get us back to that beach, Mid?
Picked you up from it, didn't I? Not that it were easy. The currents were a right bastard. But then, if it wasn't hard, it wouldn't be worth doing, would it?
Well said. Thank you, Lady Vivian.
If a few morsels of common knowledge and a sprinkling of tavern talk are worthy of your thanks, I wonder what genuine intelligence might earn me.
Probably more visits. Mid, I need everyone in the ale hall now. I'll fetch Joshua from the shelves.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Covered in nicks and lumps, the lot.
recommend.
I have no reason to assume otherwise.
Clive, you must listen to this. Lawsman, tell him.
Do you recall when we spoke before on the divinity of Ultima? Well, it inspired me to delve deeper into the subject. And what I discovered appears to agree with the findings of His Grace.
You will recall that my quest to uncover Ultima's origins began with the mural at Phoenix Gate. But while I've always known it to be important, its secrets have heretofore eluded me. Now, however, I believe I know where to find the more complete example. One that will reveal all we seek.
Master Clive, have you ever in your travels chanced to hear of the Circle of Malleus? I would think not, few have. But there was once a time when the faith flourished, the oldest known religion in the Twins, and though its popularity eventually waned on Storm, hints of its dogma remain embedded in more modern faiths such as the Crystalline Orthodox.
Wait, you said it waned on Storm. What of Ash?
Religious monuments are often torn down or repurposed when new faiths rise to prominence. But if no new faith arose, then perhaps the ancient temples might still stand. And so, you see now why I must accompany you to Waloed.
It would appear the past still has much to teach us, though in this case, it would not have been possible without the musings of Moss. To think that you carried a copy of my old mentor's chronicles all along. I am relieved to discover it in good hands.
I shall guard it with my life.
Joshua, if you're finished here, join me in the ale hall. I need to speak to everyone before we leave.
Right away.
If it please your grace, might I one day borrow the chronicles for a short while?
Of course, Lawsman Hippocrates. You need but ask.
Mid said I could ride the Enterprise next.
My apologies.
By now you've all heard where we're going and why. So I won't bother you with the boring details, only the important ones. If we attempt to approach Stone here by sea, there's a good chance we'll be sighted and fall prey to the capital's artillery. So instead, we'll disembark on the southwest coast and make for Drake's Spine on foot. I say we, but it's highly likely the entirety of Ash is under the rule of Ultima. A large party would only attract unwanted attention, as well as slow our march and require supplies which may be difficult to obtain. Only Joshua and I will be going. And a scout. Preferably a good one. Gav, do you know of any?
You bet your ass I do. Might still borrow some of Lady Vivian's maps, though. Just in case, like.
Once you've dropped us off at the Shadow Coast, you need to retreat into neutral waters, fly merchant colors, and stay inconspicuous. If you sense any danger at all, you leave us behind and return to Storm.
Inconspicuous is my middle name. But like hell am I leaving anyone behind. The ship ain't going nowhere till your scurvy mugs are smiling on deck.
Jill, the Enterprise will appear a tempting target for royalists and pirates alike. You're to stop anyone boarding.
Don't worry. I'll keep the ship and her crew safe. You'll be needing passage home, after all.
But... very well.
If there are no questions...
Let me know when you're leaving. I want a word before you go.
Of course.
my Lord Marquis.
Yote, is anything the matter? You seem troubled. Perhaps I might be able to help.
My lord, yes. Perhaps you might. It's your brother. His condition continues to worsen, though he does his best to hide it.
I had feared as much.
There are certain elixirs which can ease the suffering of those afflicted by the curse. But His Grace's case is severe. So I consulted with Talia, and thankfully a recipe was found, and our supplies are almost... Unless we can secure more soon. My lord, I know that I have no right to make demands of you.
For Joshua? So, what is this critical ingredient?
A rare herb by the name of stonerwort. It grows only where the ether is densest. We discovered a patch near the aqueduct in Rosaria. The search continues for a new source.
So it...
Well, yes, but...
Then I shall go in your stead.
But, my lord...
You've yet to find another source, correct? So for now, the aqueduct is our best hope. Besides, I'm a dominant.
Well, if you're sure, stonerwort is easily identified by... I shall remain here and prepare the other ingredient.
Is something wrong?
Not at all. Honestly. Come out. Just wanted to let you know that I'll keep things in order while you're off saving the world.
I'll hold you to that.
Fly, Ambrosia.
Here's the aqueduct. Now to find our stonewort. Yote mentioned blood-red petals. Just my luck. Whoever gives anything to red, only one thing for it. Here it is. Better collect as much as I can before reinforcements arrive. Right. That should do it.
covered in nicks and lumps. The lot.
Yotei, I brought back all the stone and water I could find. Will this be enough?
Yes, my lord. Thank you. I'm sure it will serve us until we can find another source.
I'm very glad to hear it.
You and His Grace are very much alike, you know. You think only of how you might help others.
No more than you have, minding.
I am honored that you should say so. But I beg you, my lord.
I'll keep that in mind.
Why the hell would Victor take? How the hell did that bastard get through the desert gate? Where were the guards? Come on! Faster!
All right. Straight home now. We're not going to outrun this one. Stay close, Torvald.
picked on someone your own size. Let's go. Run like the wind. Time to fight. I can walk from here. Seems this one has a little more life left in it. All right then.
Back to sleep with you.
Ready, go?
Faster! This beast isn't to be trifled with.
wrath.
Definitely not to be trifled with.